my first guitar apart at 11 and never got a job. My dad was a custom furniture maker, so I grew up around woodworking and working with my hands. And I had owned a lot of vintage instruments, real Flying V's and real Explorers and a bunch of Sunbursts and Stratocasters and Juniors. So I already had a pretty good idea of what people generally accept as a good guitar. And I was very fortunate to work with a guy in Atlanta when I was playing in bands in the 70s who was a graduate of the Bavarian Instrument Maker School, and he was very skilled, and so I learned a lot of basic stuff from him, and combining that with things I'd learned from my dad, and then having to figure out how to make people's instruments to work so we could go play the gig.
I used to have a music store in London, and back in the 80s, we were the biggest USA Jackson dealer in the UK. And we met very briefly when we were both working with Washburn. I was working for the Washburn distributor in the UK, and Grover was running the Washburn custom shop. So we still didn't really know each other very well. And then at the NAMM show in January 2011, we bumped into each other and sort of said, oh, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'd recently left Fender. He was being very successful doing subcontract work and consulting for other companies. I was consulting for a few kind of high-end companies. But I think we both had this idea that, you know, we wanted to have a shot at having our own guitar brand. So we thought it'd be a good idea. It took us 6 months of talking and various other things, planning to get it together. And then we actually launched in January 2012 at the NAMM show. For the first 9 months, we just had basically one model at different tiers called the Arate. And then in September of that year, we introduced the Concorde. And then we moved into doing bolt-on neck guitars in January of 2013, which has been a real game changer for us. And then we've been moving on since then. One of our core principles is that we want to be in control of as much of the instrument as we possibly can. We make all of our own pickups. We have our own pickup brand called Habanero. Grover makes every pick guard. We do all our own inlay. All our guitars are made from wood. They're not pre-made bodies and necks that we assemble. There are some things like tuning machines. We have to buy those. We buy all of our Floyd Rose bridges. When you buy a GJ2 guitar, you get something that is made here in Laguna Hills, California, by our guys under Grover's supervision. He has his hands on every instrument that comes out this place.
Perfect.
All of our guitars have compound radius fingerboards. And what that means is that the radius of the fingerboard, which is the curve, is greater here than it is here. If you can imagine a circle with a 10-inch radius, that's the segment of it here. And to go up to here, it's the segment of a 14-inch radius. It's flattening out as you go higher up the fingerboard. You get a very low action, you get a guitar that you can bend strings right the way up to the very top without any choking. So it makes them really playable, really versatile. GJ2 guitars are available from good quality music stores all around the world. If you go to our website, GJ2guitars.com, there is a list of our dealers. We have dealers all over the US and many countries around the world. And if you can't find one, you can contact me on info@GJ2guitars.com, and I will put you in touch with somebody that can take care of you.